Hi, I'm photographer David Flores, and today I'm hanging out with my good friends from B&H testing out the brand new Canon 6D Mark II. Now, we're some of the first folks that get to put our hands on this camera, so we're here in beautiful Van Cortlandt Park. I'm gonna make some portraits with my friend Renee, maybe we'll shoot some landscapes, put the new feature set through its paces to see what makes the 6D Mark II special. We're gonna check out the new focusing system, the improved Viewfinder, a first in Canon full-frame cameras, a vari-angle LCD screen, higher resolution, video modes, and of course some of the creative features that are hallmarks of the entire 6D line. Autofocus on the 6D Mark II is fast, especially using the center AF point. It's worth noting we're using good glass. We've got the 70 to 200 2.8 here. We've also been using the 24 to 105 Mark II. And making these portraits with Renee, we have a lot of backlight, a lot of contrasty subject matter in here, and I'm getting the critical focus every time. It's locking it extremely quickly. Yeah, it's worth noting you have a lot more autofocus points on the 6D Mark II versus its predecessors. 45 autofocus points here versus on the original 6D, which only had 11. The center autofocus point is geared at EVF -3, so even in a very, very dark or mixed light situation, you're going to be able to grab critical autofocus. All right, our next test, we're going to see how continuous autofocus works with the new 45-point AF system. I'm going to have Renee run at me, so I'm going to set that up real quick. So we're shooting at 6.5 frames per second. For the autofocus tracking, it's grabbing just about every frame. Yeah. Okay, something that I noticed. Viewfinder coverage in the 6D Mark II is 98%. That's a little bit more than the previous generation. Essentially what that means is when you're composing the image, more of what you see at the top, bottom, and left and right of the frame are going to be in your final photograph. I love shooting with a single lens reflex camera. There's a purity in an optical viewfinder, just seeing exactly what the lens is going to see, composing your image, and making the frame. One of the feature upgrades of the 6D Mark II over the original is the incorporation of a vari-angle LCD screen. Now, this is fantastic if you're trying out for an odd composition. So if you need to shoot high and you want to be able to see what's in your frame, you can use the screen to compose with in live view. Likewise, it works if you need to get low. And this also keeps you off of the ground. So instead of laying down like in the prone position, you can actually look right down at the screen. The Dual Pixel AF, which is on a lot of the newer Canon cameras, is extremely fast when you're trying to acquire autofocus. And I think, another use case for this is going to be folks that are vloggers that need a camera with a sensor of this size to get that super shallow depth of field and also excellent light sensitivity. And with the vari-angle LCD, you can flip the screen over, look right at yourself here, and because it flips out to the side, you still have your shoe up on top of the camera. So if you load in like a shotgun microphone, you want to keep your kit pared down and small, I think that's a great way to work. And again, that Dual Pixel AF, it's great for stills and for video. Whoa! 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 All right, so I want to slow things down a bit here. We've been shooting portraits, been kind of on the move, finding things that interest us. I want to slow down a little bit here. We've got the 6D Mark II on a set of sticks, and I'm coming in for like a natural still life. There's a resolution bump from the original 6D, and that's going to afford finer detail and better color reproduction. And I can actually even feel that just composing here using the vari-angle LCD screen. Every little bit of resolution, I think, counts. It gives you more flexibility if you're into cropping, which is something that I'm probably going to do with this particular photograph. I'm not using a dedicated macro lens. I'm using the 35 f2. So I want to crop into this image, so I'm going to be losing resolution on that crop. So having that spec bump a little bit is going to hold more detail and more color accuracy, just more richness, more realness in the photograph. One of the things that I love about the EOS system is how much creative tech is built in right under the hood of the cameras. Something like multiple exposure, for instance. Using the 6D Mark II, you can make anywhere between 2 and 9 exposures into a single frame using just the camera. It's a great way to deal with multiple exposure without having to use third-party software or offload anything into a computer. You can do everything right here in the camera. Okay, we should talk about video. you know, 1080p, full HD, you're covered up to 60 frames per second. That's really nice. I would have liked to have seen some 4K here, but there are some interesting features that are built in. This is Canon's first full-frame DSLR that has digital image stabilization built into the body. Now, on its own, that's going to help you get a more stable, smoother shot. Paired with an image-stabilized lens, it'll be even better. If you're serious about image making, the 6D Mark II is a fantastic option. With its higher resolution, extremely fast autofocusing speed, and vari-angle LCD with Dual Pixel AF technology, there are so many refinements and usability improvements that make the camera fun and easy to use. Now, if you're a video shooter working in high definition, awesome camera, especially if you're a vlogger. If you need 4K, there's other cameras in the Canon lineup that you should give a look at. With its feature additions and usability refinements, the 6D Mark II is an absolute pleasure to use. For more on the 6D Mark II, photography, filmmaking, and all things imaging, visit B&H. I'm photographer David Flores. See you next time.